The talk is about the science and technology approach for the production and management of giant bamboo. And ang isa pa ay ito naman po ay tungkol sa rehabilitation, rehabilitation ng mga old and unmanaged clumps of kawayang tinik. And hindi lang yan, meron pang ang isang bonus na talk. Ito na po yung sinasabi natin kanina. It is about the deformed bamboo gum production technologies. So, ano ba itong mga ito? So, sit tight and makinig po ulit tayo. We have another speaker who is a seasoned forester and a certified BTS din. So, yan. Pag BTS, syempre, obvious na yon. Good looking itong ating mga BTS from ERDB. And our speaker has served as the center head of the Forest and Wetland Research, Development, and Extension Center in Bislig, Surigao del Sur. So yun po ay dati. And he has conducted different projects on bamboo. And now, nasaan na ba siya? He is now already here in Los Baños, Laguna, and he is ERDB's Assistant Director. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome another BTS of ERDB, our handsome and dedicated Assistant Director, Forester Conrado Butch Marquez. Good morning, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Libay.
Good morning,
Magandang
sir.
umaga po sa lahat. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me now, Libay?
Yes, sir.
Okay lang.
Very loud and clear.
But you
Yes,
can't see
sir.
me?
Loud and clear.
Yun, we have seen you now. O, pipin na po kayo ni Ace.
Okay. Okay. So, while Forester Greg Santos was working then at the main office in Los Baños, dito sa Los Baños, ERDB, I was then working in Iloilo, field office of the ERDB, and yung sa Bislig, Surigao del Sur. So as you can see, ERDB really has this concerted effort on working on the R&D of bamboo. So what I'm going to present to you today is about giant bamboo and about the existing bamboo tinik. And perhaps if we have time mamaya, it's a simple technology on how to deform bamboo. Okay, so can I please allow me to share my screen? Okay, so this is the first technology. Actually, the project is still ongoing in Malaybalay, Bukidnon. This is something to do with the production and management of giant bamboo. But let me focus on the production of its planting materials, which is very significant in technology na ito. Now, just a bit of information about giant bamboo. Giant bamboo, scientific name Dendrocalamus asper, is a popular bamboo species in the Philippines, especially in Bukidnon province. So as you can see, it really is native of Bukidnon. And then the characteristic of giant bamboo allows some private entrepreneurs and farmers to generate alternative sources of income, such as selling planting materials, poles, shoots, etc. So napakaraming products which can be derived out of this giant bamboo. And now, giant bamboo is actually used significantly for engineered bamboo production, bamboo products production. So production of giant bamboo planting materials is one of the booming sources of income for rural folks in Bukidnon province, especially nowadays with the advent of the production of engineered bamboo products. Actually, I know of, I think, 3 investors in Mindanao, all in Mindanao. One is in Iligan, made mention by Forester Santos. The other one is in Cugman in Cagayan de Oro, and the other one is in Malaybalay, Bukidnon. All this are producing giant bamboo planting materials and the products derived out of them. So I'd like to go straight on some of the general requirements of establishing a nursery, a bamboo nursery. First is you need to have the appropriate area to cater to the desired number of planting materials to be raised. Never too big, never too small, but just the right area for your plantation. Unless na you're into the business of selling planting materials. I think this is also gaining ground in Bukidnon, where some people's organizations are producing bamboo planting materials and they sell them to the yung plantation farmers. No? So a consideration, of course, when establishing a nursery, you need to have adequate water supply. Water is the limiting factor for the growth of bamboo in the Philippines or in any tropical country. Too big, no? Very important. So at least yung nursery, you need to have a nearby water supply. Next one is accessibility. So it is ideally situated near a road network for ease of transport. Okay? And then exposure and aspect. This simply says that nursery should be fully exposed to sunlight. So as much as possible, open, the nursery must be open. And then topography should be flat or relatively rolling because it would be very difficult for you to produce planting materials in a hilly or in a mountainous area. No? So kung pwede, a level, flat or level area. So the facilities of a bamboo nursery would include the potting shed, the non-mist chamber, the recovery shed, the hardening shed, and the vermicomposting chamber. These are all recommended para isa na lang, one packaged facility, where you can have everything and then which is most essential for the growth of the bamboo planting materials. Okay. So roads and pathways should be properly laid out for ease in transport and movement within the area. So at least you know where to put the potting shed, where the rearing sheds are, where the rooting chambers are, and other facilities. So you will know what would be the best way to to get the inputs in the nursery and the seed or the planting materials out of the nursery when they are ready for planting. Appropriate cultural treatments will be applied in the nursery. If possible, too much use of chemicals that may pose hazard to nursery workers will be avoided. No? Ayaw natin maggamit ng chemicals. Okay? So, now for specific planting material production for giant bamboo. Although almost all parts of the giant bamboo except the leaves can be used as planting materials, the branch is recommended to use branch cuttings for giant bamboo because it is more economical than the smaller bags for potting. Because you have larger culms for giant bamboo, then we resort to the use of branch cuttings for propagation. So giant bamboo has a large main branch similar to its culm pole. On the basal part of the branch, it has a nodal part with aerial roots covered with small culm sheath, root-bearing stout branches. So as you can see here, this is a classic example of a branch, which you can actually use as branch cutting for propagation. So in the identification and selection of quality branch cuttings, the branches from 3 to 5-year-old culms are the best planting materials. At least 10 branches can be collected from one culm. Okay? Made mention actually kanina, may mga questions, I think 2 questions before this about the age of of the CAMS, ano? But yes, it needs a trained eye really to be able to identify the exact age of the CAMS, no? So actually, when we do research work, we really have to resort to markings by color painting, or by actually writing the age of the CAM dun mismo sa plantation, no? So very important po is the age of the CAM. The branch can be detached with a sharp ball or handsaw. Each collected branch should have 2 to 3 nodes, live buds and roots. Proper care should be observed to keep the live buds. Okay? So wag nyong na aalisin itong kanyang parang naka-attach ito sa CAM. Okay? 2 to 3 nodes. Okay? And then bamboo branches ready for potting. These are examples collected from the CAMs of giant bamboo. Okay, these are branches. So immediately after collection, planting materials must be placed inside wet sacks for ease of transport and protection from direct sunlight. Okay, very important po. Whenever you transport planting materials of bamboo, make sure that it is wet. Okay, if the planting materials are to be transported long distance, they must be packed in boxes with wet sawdust and properly arranged to avoid damage and dehydration, which will cause low germination. We did this. We even got cuttings from Bukidnon, transported it to Iloilo when I was in Iloilo, and then we placed it in jute sacks, and then had but before placing them, and then we had to soak the cuttings in water before placing them in the jute sacks. Okay. So after which you soak the bottom of the branches in the mixture of 5 to 10% rooting hormone, 1 tablespoon of hormone, 1 liter of water for at least 3 to 5 minutes. No? So rooting hormone, we usually use yung ANAA. And then para mura-mura lang po. And then yes, this is how you soak it, and then for 3 to 5 minutes. Now, put it in a clonal chamber. Ito yung chamber na sinasabi natin. I'd like to go back to the chamber. The chamber is where you put the branches, the branch cuttings dito, and let it stay for 2 weeks, no? So in the chamber, as much as possible, kung pwede concrete chamber. Syempre, you have the drainage dito, may butas yan, and then meron po tayong levels na gravel, pebbles, then you have the sand. And then you actually sow for lack of a better term, the branches dito sa sand, no? Never too deep. Just to let the bud portion be covered by the sand. Okay. So ito yung itsura niya. This is actually a picture of the cuttings in the rooting or the clonal chamber. So cover the clonal bed with a transparent polyethylene cover supported by a metal frame to allow 30 to 50% exposure to sunlight and maintain humidity for the planted cuttings. So in a way, we're trying to control the sunlight and the temperature and humidity inside the clonal chamber by covering it with a polyethylene material. Okay? So leave the cuttings inside the chamber for 2 weeks. Watering should be done early in the morning. So tutubigan po natin ito every morning for 2 weeks, no? Until magka-root na yung sow to enhance the rooting of these branches in the root chamber. Okay? So, in the absence of a clonal chamber, no? Because it would entail cost also if you have a rooting chamber. So, ito lang po yung ginagawa natin. Dig a hole and place the cuttings under the shade with 50% to 60% sunlight, mulch with grasses and water daily. So file the planting materials under the tree, as you can see in the picture, and then cover the planting materials with moist leaves, organic material, debris to enhance rooting and shooting. Okay, this is actually a substitute for the clonal chamber, but this is a very temporary thing, because if you're considering a large plantation, always it is suggested for the concrete clonal chamber. Okay. Transplant the rooted cutting 14 to 20 days after planting in the chamber. Pot the sprouted branches in 15 by 20 centimeters plastic bags filled with recommended potting medium. So ano po yung potting medium natin? So usual potting medium is composed of ordinary garden soil with at least 20% organic fertilizer, and then compost rice hull and 10 grams of HiQ-BAM. So made mention by Sir Santos kanina, we actually use HiQ-BAM. It's a generated developed technology by ERDB. It's actually a fungus which has a symbiotic relationship with the roots of the plants. And you can use this for the giant bamboo cuttings. Okay. So pot the rooted cutting in the prepared pot, half filled with potting mixture with 10 grams of HiQ-BAM. Totally fill the bag with the potting mixture and place it in the recovery bed. Okay. So observe proper care of the stocks in the nursery. The nursery should be fenced for protection. Okay. Just consider this as planting materials in their infant stage. And when you say infant, you need to take proper care for your infants. Okay, so you have to take care of this planting materials. So conduct nursery maintenance and protection, such as watering, grading, cutting, culling, fertilizer application when necessary. Okay, potted stocks will be ready for planting after 3 to 4 months, or when it has well developed roots and shoots. Harden the potted stocks before dispatch 2 weeks before outplanting. Okay? So while we're waiting for 3 to 4 months, i-maintain po natin siya sa nursery. And always, please don't forget to harden. Always harden your planting materials before planting them in the field. When we say harden, we are trying to acclimatize the planting materials to field conditions. Okay. So potted planting materials ready for planting can be directly exposed to full sunlight. Okay. This is part of the hardening stage of the planting materials. Okay. So on plantation establishment for giant bamboo. Giant bamboo grows naturally within the range of 40 degrees on either side of the equator. Hence, the Philippines is located within that range. The climatic condition favors the growth of bamboo species under Bambusa, Dendrocalamus, Dinocloa, Gantocloa, and other genera. So here, most of us have this, yung sinasabi ni Sir Santos, yung sympodial clump forming bamboos, because we belong dun sa tropical, one of the tropical countries in the world. Altitude, giant bamboo can grow in various elevations from about sea level to an altitude as high as 2,800 and 3,200 meters above sea level. And of course, bamboo, giant bamboo, is a native of Bukidnon. Some of you are familiar with Bukidnon. It has very high precipitation, relatively high elevation, and then malamig na area. That's the native site of the giant bamboo. And then on land preparation for plantation establishment, we prepare the planting site through complete or partial removal of vegetation. Mark the planting spot with stick at 3 by 3, 4 by 4 spacing. If for shoot production, 5x10 spacing for pole production, and 5x5 in Quincunx method for riverbank stabilization. Now, as you can see, the spacing of this giant bamboo depends on the use or the purpose or the objective. So very important, as mentioned by Sir Santos, is at the start of the project, you should know the purpose of your plantation to be developed. No? Hindi po yung tatanim lang tayo without any objective. So again, for shoot production, you have smaller spacing. Why shoot production? Made mention by Forester Santos kanina na one of the most delicious edible shoots in the Philippines, if not the world, is giant bamboo. Okay, and then you need to have a larger spacing. In fact, Sir Santos was mentioning about 10x10 spacing for pole production. Well, in Bukidnon, I guess they have more abundant planting materials, and you can get more poles. So you have spacing of 5x10. And then 5x5, actually, yung Quincunx is actually alternate spacing, for riverbank stabilization. And this goes for all other species. Whenever we plant other species of bamboo in bamboo riverbanks, in riverbanks, I mean, you use the Quincunx method of spacing, So relatively, giant bamboo requires big and deep-sized holes, about 60 by 60 centimeters for marginal areas and 40 by 40 for well-drained area. So malaki-laki pong butas ang kailangan for giant bamboo. And then dispatch healthy planting materials with well-developed roots for planting in the prepared site. You need to do some sorting in the nursery and choose the best planting materials for the plantation site. Okay, and then plant during the onset, the rainy season, and then carefully remove the plastic bag, then out into the prepared planting hole applied with organic fertilizer. Plant the bamboo in a vertical position, cover it with soil and tamp it down to release air around the planting material, then put mulching materials. So mulch is a requisite in plantation establishment to be able to maintain yung moisture doon sa planted na paths of giant bamboo. In maintaining the bamboo plantation, conduct maintenance such as clear brushing, replacement of mortality, fertilizer application for the first 2 years of planting. It is recommended that whenever you observe during your daily monitoring of the plantation, then whenever there's this mortality, you need to replace it immediately. That's why you have to have a ready allowance of the number of planting materials in your nursery. Sir Santos again made mention about the 15% mortality allowance for mortality. So ibig sabihin, you need to add yung planting materials required of the plantation by at least 15% for mortality allowance. Okay, apply organic fertilizer to the planted bamboo, such as decomposed cow manure and chicken dung to enhance growth and shoot production. And in the 3rd year of the plantation, remove damaged, defective, and dead compost to give way to the new emerging growing shoot. Okay, so harvesting. Choose a 3-year-old or older giant bamboo compost for harvesting. Cut the pole at 5 to 10 centimeters above the ground or just above the first node. So take note, always we recommend harvesting for 3 years old and above comes, never for the 1 and 2. Okay, because in clump management made mention earlier by Sir Santos is the 1 and 2-year-old clumps will take care of the production of new shoots, no? Whereas the 3 and above clumps will take care of the nutrition and the anchorage of the whole clump. So if you're going to harvest the 1 and 2-year-old clumps in the clump, so you would expect lesser production of shoots come next shooting season, because simply you already cut down the clumps that are producing the shoots. Okay, so for shoot harvesting, it is recommended to collect it from the crowded rhizomes to obtain more space to the upcoming clumps, and that is in clump management. So with that, Bambuhay, maraming salamat po.